All right, in the meantime, countdown to Copenhagen. Less than a month from today, the world leaders are going to hammer out a deal on how to deal with global warming. That is the headline. But if my next guest is right, the fine print shows something else could get hammered by this, our way of life. Chuck Norris's latest book is the Chuck Norris Fact Book, 101 of Chuck's favorite facts and stories. It's actually very funny, but it does have a couple of serious points I do want to share. But Chuck, great to see you.
Good to see you too, Neil. Well, actually, the conference starts on the day the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor.
Does it really?
December 7th. So,
now,
that's some indication right there.
Don't know. Is the president going to go back? Last time he went to Copenhagen, it didn't turn out too well. But is he going to go?
I don't know if he is or not. I don't know if he's going to send the Hillary. Who knows what he's going to do?
Well, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is one of those who's been espousing sort of updating the Kyoto Accord, this global environmental sort of watch.
Truthfully, I think he will go.
And you think he's going to make some big concessions?
Oh, definitely. I really think he's going over there to try to create a one world order. And I think.
Well, what's your big worry?
My big worry is the fact is that we, as a nation, if we start having to be obligated to other countries, like in this conference, they're going to try to take our money and send it to third world countries because of since we spent so much oil and these other countries have suffered, then we're going to give our money to these third world countries. Neil, we have people here starving in our own country. My foundation, I have families who are making $9,000 a year with the kids that I'm teaching. Why aren't we trying to help the poverty in our own country?
But isn't this just about a cleaner globe?
Global,
you don't buy that.
I don't buy that. Yeah. I don't buy. Al Gore became a $100 million millionaire, from this global bombardment, but I don't believe it for a second. I think it's a big con game that they're doing. But
nevertheless, you fear that the president is going to concede and give these countries what they want, be part of this globalist tradition, and then what happens?
Who knows what's going to happen? God forbid this even that this happens in our country. Our country, as we know it now, will no longer exist, Neil. That's the whole thing right there.
Well, the proponents in Copenhagen, they're beautiful people. They're very attractive.
Yeah.
You spend too much time in Fallujah, you should really get out. But they say we'll have a cleaner world and everyone will be happy, including Chuck Norris.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. First of all, I don't believe China's going to go for this. I don't believe India's going to go for this. And they're not going to start cutting.
China's the world's biggest polluter now.
I know they are, and they're not going to change. So the thing is, for them to say, well, United States, you change, but we're not going to change. So you clean up your country, but we're going to keep, polluting our part of the world. It's ludicrous.
Right.
Really
it's funny. We mentioned your book a little earlier. You argue this is part of a bigger thing that's been going on that's been worrying you. And you talk about individual responsibility. Now we have a government that's, if you can't, afford your home, the government will pay for one. If your car company's in trouble, the government will back you up. Or if you can't buy a car, the government will give you the check to buy it.
Yeah,
but you say when people say, hey, you've had great luck in your life, Chuck Norris, you say you worked your Batista off.
Yeah.
But one thing you said that struck me in the book, the wonderful thing about America is what you can start to succeed at any age, no matter where you come from. You might be from the Bronx, the prairies of Oklahoma, or the tip of Alaska. It doesn't matter. You think we're losing that?
Yeah, yes, I do. I really do. The thing is that the government wants to take care of us. The thing is, we want to take care of ourselves. That's what builds up our character. Us working hard. I've worked hard all my life to achieve what I've achieved. But God has blessed me in many ways because of that. But I'll tell you what, the thing that worries me the most is this health care bill. And why I'm scared about it, it's not about the health care. It's about the provisions that are in that bill. One is that if this thing passes, the government will have the right to come into our home and regulate how we raise our children. Well, I found that in the bill.
Now, I don't believe that.
It is. It's in the bill.
Now, I'm going to argue because I have you to beat me up, but I'm just saying that I don't believe that.
It is. It is. Right. I had my legal team go through this whole bill with me because I couldn't understand it.
You should see a couple of my kids. I could use some.
And so anyway. But anyway, they keep changing this from one area of the bill.
But it's part of your message. Be careful what Big Brother's doing.
Oh, right? Absolutely. But the thing is, I don't want them coming into my home. I don't want them.
Well, they'd be afraid to come into your home.
Believe me, my fences are 9 feet high.
You don't need a fence. Just look at them.
No,
now, you were at West Point yesterday.
Yes, I was. Oh, what an incredible reaction there. The cadets, I tell you, they went crazy, and I spoke to them for like 45 minutes yesterday, and then they said, "You got to wear your hat. You got to wear our Army hat tomorrow." I said, "I promise you, I'll wear the Army football team hat."
But you mean what you say, and you walked away. You've been to Iraq so many times, and you've been in the most dangerous areas. Now we get this, was it worth it? Should we have been there? What are we doing in Afghanistan? What do you
Well, the thing is, Iraq is, we're cleaning up Iraq. Iraq, is really close to being completed. Afghanistan, I have no idea, Neil. Afghanistan's a whole different ball game there with the mountain regions and all the stuff here and the drug cartels over there. I really don't know, but the thing is, the president has to make a decision. He's got to get off the fence and say, pull our troops home or send troops in. But he can't just let it hang like he is right now. He's got to make a decision. And, and the thing is, do we or don't we? My suggestion is that the generals are saying we can win this war if we send them, people like George Bush did in Iraq. We sent in the troops and we were able to clean it up. Let's do the same thing in Afghanistan.
Are you going to back Mike Huckabee again if he runs for president?
Yeah, I will. You know why?
He's leading in all the polls.
I tell you, I researched this guy. Before I backed him, I researched him, and you have to realize when he took over the governorship of Arkansas, there were $400 million in the red. And when he left the governorship 10 years later, there were $800 million.
No, I love him. He's a great guy. But what did he promise you if he became president?
Nothing.
Secretary of Defense?
Hey, believe me, no. I will never.
I'm kidding.
I will never get in the political arena.
But it's very odd for you to be so actively involved in someone's campaign, and you were. And again, I assume if you run again, you want.
I want a leader for. I want a leader for, not for me.
Would you do the same for Mitt Romney if he were the nominee?
The only thing that bothered me about Mitt is, like I say, I want a man who says what he means and means what he says, and I don't think Mitt Romney is.
What about Sarah Palin?
I don't know her that well. The thing is, I know Mike Huckabee. I know he's a man of integrity. I know he's a man who can get the job done. He did it in Arkansas. I think he's a man that means what he says and says what he means. And I really think he is the guy that could get the right people in the White House that can make things happen in a positive way in our country.
Well, if he did get one more czar. We need like a kick-ass czar. That should be you.
Hey,
it would be Chuck Norris, kick-ass czar.
No, I've been working on him. I've been kickboxing with him. He's tougher than nails.
He is tough. Thanks, buddy. Chuck Norris. When we come back, the CEO who